Hey guys, welcome back. So, for today's episode, the question is what would you say to a slightly chubby teenage girl, whether she's in middle school or high school, who is trying to lose weight while entering puberty? How should she go about it in the healthy way? A lot of girls are trying to lose weight through unhealthy ways like crash diets, fat diets, and starving themselves, especially when their bodies are changing through puberty. Okay, so first, I just wanted to say I don't have children, so I can't speak from like a mother perspective. So that's a really good question. And I did grow up with two best friends. One was overweight and one was obese. I also had an overweight sister and mother, so I'll be speaking from an outside perspective on what they did and what I didn't do, so I didn't end up like them. So, first, I'm gonna make an assumption. I'm going to assume she's the mother of that teenage girl and not the teenage girl herself. This is going to be a lot to unpack, but here we go. So, typically, children they are obese and overweight due to the habits given from their parents 90% of the time, and the other 10% is due of their friend circle because they want to act like them to be cool, they have unhealthy comparison, and also body issues. So once we notice, that's when we can start looking at the root cause instead of putting a bandage on it. We fix the cause, not the consequence, otherwise it will return, and that's why diets don't work because it's putting a bandage on your issue. Parents must set the example because kids they imitate their parents. So whatever the parent is doing, they think this is normal. So if their parent do take out every Friday, their kid will also do that in adulthood. If their parents shower every other day, the kids will also do that. So now, I'm a strong believer in setting an example. People are typically repulsed by the idea of being told what to do, especially coming from their parents. You can bring the horse to the water, but it does not mean it'll drink. So do not say. Here's a few questions I have for you. Do you eat healthy in front of your daughter? Do you exercise regularly? At the end of the day, your kid become you or becomes your complete opposite. I can think of my sister, she's a copy of my mom. She eats frozen food, doesn't exercise, cannot think long term, and she says, I can treat myself despite not really accomplishing anything that is worth that merit. Not to mention, you should never reward yourself with food. We are not pets. You are also the parent. You still choose what she will be eating at the end of the day. If you don't buy processed food, how will she get that processed food? At her friend's place? That's okay. It's better than having it in the house and full access at any time of the day. Because at the end of the day, moderation is key. So if she needs to go to her friend's house for a soda, then be it. And if she has to go to her friend's place, then she has to get out of the house, which is healthy. So once she hits the age of 16 and 18 and gets a job, they tend not to think about buying food with that money. I remember when I made my first $300 paychecks, like from working at a grocery store, and the last thing I wanted to spend my money on was food because we had some at home and that was free. So here's what you can do. Only make healthy food available, like proteins, whole grains, fruits, veggies, and healthy fats. Also, wording is very important. Don't say we're cutting, we're losing, no, or any negative connotation word. Use fueling when it's time to eat, and other words like that. The last thing we want is to give bad vibes to our health and lifestyle. We get to do it. It's not we have to do it. Also, yeah, for sure, if you're any age, it's not even about being a teenager. No dieting for sure. It's always unsustainable and it's always unrealistic. The quicker the results, the quicker they'll go away. Now, if she doesn't want to listen to you, bring her to a dietitian. They cost about $200 on initial visit and $120 on follow-ups, typically. This is my experience. They could also be covered by insurance if you have health insurance. So, not only going there will show her how much you care as a parent, but how important food is in our lives. I'm sure she'll be willing to listen to a professional because a lot of kids they go on TikTok and they try to have the opinions of professionals that way. So, if they can see it in person, I think they'll like that. It's also best to spend $200 now than spend 10K in medical expenses because she gets 630s from being overweight. Or it's better to spend $200 now than not spending $200 on snacks. Because I promise you, if you go to places like Costco and you buy snacks in bulk, stop buying snacks for 1 month. You'll have an extra $200 and use that $200 to go to the dietitian. And my dietitian, when I went a few months ago, she said that the healthiest way to help people with disorder or just regular people is 3 meals a day, 2 snacks a day. So it looks like this. So your breakfast is at 8 a.m., your snack is at 10 a.m., then you have a lunch at 12, then you have the PM snack at 3 p.m., and then you have dinner at 6 p.m. And obviously you don't have to do this at those exact times. For example, my PM snack is at 7:30 because my body always tests my gangster at night. Like, I can't do it. So I need a snack at 7:30, otherwise I crash out. One effective thing you can do as an adult is cutting out soda. So any drink above 20 grams of sugar, don't buy it. It's not worth. And you can just eat a fruit or something sweet that's natural. Like your sugar intake for the day is 30 grams of sugar. Do you really want to waste it on one sugary drink and then you have like 10 grams left if you're lucky? No, because after that you get hormonal issues, health problems, insulin problems, and potentially diabetes the rest of your life. Also, cut out processed food. Unless it's frozen vegetables, you should not have frozen food of any kind in your house. If we want sweet, we eat fruits. If you want salty things, you can use a vegetable plus salt. So a thing I like to do is chickpeas with sea salt. So I put it in the air fryer for 10 minutes. And basically I have an avocado oil spray. I spray on top because if you use oil of any kind in your cooking, it has to be in a spray bottle. If you have oil right now and it's not in a spray form, get a spray bottle. And yeah, just spray on top, put some sea salt, and it literally tastes like popcorn. And if you like, for me, I don't think I crave salty or sweet things. I think I crave crunchy things or smooth things. It's it's really specific. So when I do roasted chickpeas, it really gets that crunch, salty craving out of the way. So yeah, there's obviously other things you can do. I don't even know many people that eat chickpeas. So maybe this is not the perfect example, but think of cucumber with salt maybe, or ask ChatGPT. They'll give you options. So those two things, cutting out sodas and processed food, it should do it. Obviously, in your freezer, you can have frozen meat and stuff like that, but you should not be seeing chicken nuggets, or you should not be seeing pizza or anything like that. Also, you have to teach your daughter that calories, they work like money. I actually have a video on that, but as a teenager, she probably needs, and I'm just guessing a number here, but 1,500 calories or so. And just to be sure, check with the TDEE calculator and tell her she can only spend that much today. If we have a Big Mac today, then she only has 200 calories left today. Otherwise, she's going to go into calorie debt, aka gaining weight. But remember that eating 3,000 calories of whole food will make you live almost 2 times longer than someone eating 1,500 calories of junk. So quality is important, and tell her that. Tell her that she'll probably want to live long enough to see her grandchildren. Tell her that she'll probably want to date someone with a healthy weight as well. And yeah, health is king. And I know some children, they don't think that far yet, but if they're 15 and up, just planting that seed, so when they're 20 and their brain is starting to develop, then they can start understanding what you were saying. Make sure she is taught that gaining weight and losing weight isn't just about appearance, but the reason why it's so glorified for appearance is due to biology, because it signals to people that she will live longer and she cares about herself. So people obviously want people that live longer in their life. If I was dating my boyfriend and I knew he would die at 50, that would be a deal breaker for me, because then I have to go with 30 years alone, or I have to remarry at 50. No, that's awful. But yeah, so it's not just about looking cute, even though it helps a lot, and there's nothing wrong about wanting to look cute. It'll help you for dating and jobs, so obviously it's important, but that should not be the only reason why you do it. Also, if you are her parent, you still have relative control. You can always sign her up for a class, and you could join her as well, for a 10 a.m. yoga session on a Saturday. After dinner, go on a walk with her. Walking is free. Or if her friends are in a class, you could make her join them as well. So ask her what her friends are doing, and it's an easy way to know if they have a good influence as well. If none of her friends they do any exercise and maybe they're eating junk food together and all they do is watch Netflix, maybe that's where she's getting her bad habits from. Especially if as a parent you're healthy and your kid isn't, that's something worth looking into. And I remember as a kid, my mom signed me up for a dozen classes. She signed me up for singing, dancing, cheerleading, soccer. I can't think of anything else, but she signed me up for a lot of stuff. And I hated soccer. I remember that. Oh my goodness. But today I thank her for that because she was showing me the importance of moving. But one of the reasons why I hated it was because my mom did not move at all. So why did I need to? Again, parents need to show by example. If my mom was playing sports and then she signed me up for a sport, I don't think I would have as much resistance as a kid. And one of the reasons why I was never overweight as a kid is I carried a water bottle everywhere. So if you want your kid to drink more, buy them a Lululemon bottle because a lot of kids are obsessed with that, or a Stanley Cup. And before she leaves for school, make sure she fills it up and bring it with her. And number two is I never finished my plate. I had, unfortunately, I had overweight friends. And when they come over after dinner, sometimes my plate wasn't finished and they were like coming in. And I'd straight up give them my plate. So I would never finish my plate. So I think that's like one of the reasons why I can think of that differentiates me from my sister and me, because she was obese pretty much. She was like 180 pounds to 200 pounds. And that leads me to my other section about portion size. If your portion size is huge, you will become huge. If you're still making dinner for her, you can make sure your portions are slightly smaller. And or you can reduce the amount of sauce, because one thing I've noticed with my obese friends, they would always have sauce, and the sauce had more calories than the meal itself. And for example, they had cucumber or another vegetable, but they had ranch with it. Or they had fruits, but then they had chocolate, like melted chocolate, or some chocolate dipping of some kind. So of course it was high in calorie and it wasn't healthy anymore. So yeah, if your toppings are more high in calorie than the content of the meal itself, that's a huge problem. It should never exceed it. So make sure her plate has protein, veggies, carbs, and a fingertip worth of fat. So her plate can be the size of her hand. I'm gonna add a photo that I added in the email. But yeah, it's a pretty reasonable thing to follow. That's what dietitians give when it comes to portion size, because the bigger you get, the bigger your hand gets, and the smaller you get, the smaller your hand gets. So it's easy to base it on that. And another thing I can suggest is no more trash TV, because on TV, you can see people that are overweight, eating too much, or being trashy. Like, I'm thinking of like the Zeus network or stuff like that. Like, we don't have it in Canada, but, well, I don't think so at least. I never looked into it. But you'll see the type of women that are there. And basically, if you see fat people on TV, or obese or unhealthy people, then you go outside in America and you see obese people, and then they go home to overweight parents, all they see is fat people. That is the norm. And at the end of the day, kids, they want to be normal. They want to blend in. They want to be accepted. So they'll do whatever to be liked by everyone else. So if their parents do not care and do not take the extra steps to be slim, why would they? My mom didn't care, so I didn't care until I saw that it was literally killing her to eat the way she did. So if you, as a parent, take extra steps, she will too. There's nothing more frustrating as a daughter myself than being told to do things by your mother that she doesn't even do herself. It's like getting dietitian advice from an obese person. I'm sure they don't follow their own advice, so typically people don't take their advice seriously. So just to summarize everything, first, stop buying processed foods. So if your freezer is filled out all the time, stop buying that. So the only thing that should go in your freezer is frozen meat or frozen vegetables, ice cubes. Number two, for sodas, don't buy sodas in bulk. Never do that. For me, I remember if I had to drink soda as a kid, it's because we were going out. And if we were going out, that was like a monthly thing. Like my mom did not allow me to go to McDonald's until I was 12 or 13 because it just wasn't healthy. So I was drinking soda like once a month on a bad year. So no more sodas, and also there's a bunch of alternative today anyway. So you can get a lower calorie one, but I wouldn't do that because you want to teach your child that health is important. So drinking soda of any kind, this like no matter what the calorie count is, it's still unhealthy at the end of the day. So maybe, and I don't suggest this because I wouldn't drink juice, but maybe buy juice, like swap out the soda for juice. At least the ingredients are more, they're closer to natural. Or again, just buy fruits. If they want something sweet, they'll get a kiwi or something. Number three is to make sure that their protein intake, like their goal, is hit every day. I'd say at least 50 grams. And I think after 50 and 60 grams, I personally don't have the urge to snack as much. But my personal daily is 100 grams because I lift weights and I should probably even do more. But for a kid, I don't know exactly the precise thing they need, obviously. But protein every day is important. Um, yeah, at least that. So number four, for portion control, you can use a scale. I think everybody in the world should have a scale. It's not even for weight loss purposes, but just awareness. Some people, they eat 3 portions and they have no idea. So just have a scale and measure everything. And after a while, you'll look with your eyes and you'll see like, oh, this is too much or not enough. So this is not a thing you do for life, obviously. It's just to gain awareness, and then when you know, you know. Number five is to do takeout in moderation. Whatever you're doing now, do it in half. If you do 2 takeouts a week, then do one. Plus, the rarer we get something, the more grateful we become for it. So I noticed that when I was doing takeout every day at some point, like I didn't care. It was just another takeout. It was just another plate of food. But now I do it once every 2 weeks maybe, and it hits hard every time. Number six is to walk with her. So if you have a daughter, make sure you walk at least 30 minutes with her. So because you want to show her that you're also doing it and not just telling her how to do it and what to do, because that kind of makes you like an hypocrite. So, and also shows that you care for her and her health. So ideally we want 10,000 steps. You could also get her a step counter. Some people don't realize how bad the situation is. So maybe if she saw that she had like 500 steps and we need 10,000 steps, maybe she would feel the need to move more. And if you get her one, make sure you get one for yourself because, again, you're supposed to set the example. Number seven, make sure that you reward her for hitting milestones or doing something, but not with food. So if she's like losing 5 pounds, get her a Lululemon bottle or gym clothes or just regular clothes or hair clips. Like it doesn't have to be a huge thing, but show her like appreciation when she hits milestones. Don't bring her for ice creams or something like that. Number eight is be the example. Don't eat candy in front of her if you don't want her to eat candy. Show her what to do. If you want her to do something, do it first. This is a silly example, but let's say you want to buy a tongue scraper and you start using it and she noticed that you're using it. Then she'll ask you why you got it. And you can just say like, oh, I want to reduce my cravings for unhealthy fake foods. And then she might ask you to get one, right? Number nine is to see a dietitian. So it'll save you money for medical bills in life and also on food overall because you'll probably be consuming 10%, maybe 20, even maybe 50% less food in certain cases. So just imagine in 20 years if you're buying half the food you're buying now because you lost weight. How much money you're saving. Number 10, make sure that she drinks 3 to 2 liters of water a day. That will curb her appetite but also flush out toxins. So, but yeah, that was my answer for her. So, guys, if you guys have any questions, don't forget to reach out to my email. I'll try to get back to you ASAP. I'll try to check like every 2 days my emails. So if I don't reply immediately, I'm sorry, but I'll get back to you like as soon as I can. And also, I'm trying to give you the best answer as possible. So I like to think on my answer. So I don't just say something and then, oh, I forgot something, right? So yeah, if you guys like this content in this format, let me know. Leave a like and leave a comment. And I'll see you ladies in the next video. Bye bye.